the Knicks and the Pacers begin tonight. And, Knicks fans are feeling it. They're feeling it, Brian. And then you're also seeing stories out there that they're not only back, but back on the map as a destination for other players that want to be there because they're seeing what's cooking there. Is there any, fire behind that smoke right now, do you think, Brian?
Well, there's kind of two types of teams in the playoffs. There's teams in the playoffs that have sort of expended their resources and adding talent. You look at something like, Minnesota, for example. Minnesota has traded all of its picks and pick swaps that they're allowed to trade going forward. If there was a player that today declared, "I'm a superstar, get me to Minnesota," it'd be hard to trade for him. And then you have, Cleveland is another example of that. Boston has traded not everything, but they've traded a lot. And you have a team like New York, which has 7 tradable first-round picks and 11 overall over the next 7 years. Tradable salary that they have, and the ability to have somebody be upwardly mobile. And the thing about it is, Rich, I have thought that somebody was going to want to be in New York for years now. And I was thinking that back in 2019-20 because it's so wide open to come and have a moment. And by the way, someone's taken it. That person is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has used New York the way that I thought other star players would want to do it. Jalen has just become a star in the role, whereas I thought other stars would want to be here. I'm still a little bit amazed that Kevin Durant didn't want to play in New York and he wanted to play in Brooklyn. He's articulated it. He has his reasons, whatever. But so you're asking me, do I think it could happen? Yeah, but I thought it would happen 3-4 years ago.
Well,
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say about this team is they are very much calibrated for Tibbs. This team is almost designed perfectly to play for Tibbs. So I think they have to be careful. Obviously, if you can get one of the top 10 players in the league or 15 or whatever, says he wants to play there, you're definitely going to do it. But they got something good going here, and they need to have patience on what they want to do with this roster.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Durant because I don't know of many people that kind of believe Matt Ishbia is saying we're the team to beat, essentially. Like we're gonna stick and stay. A lot of folks think that they're gonna have to get rid of either Durant or Booker. Is that true, Brian?
Do people in the league say that? Yes, they do. I talked to multiple people who think that's what they're going to have to do. Do the Suns say that? No, they do not. I think the Suns' intention is to keep all 3 of these star players, tweak the roster, tweak some of their systems and their processes, and try to be better next year. And Durant, not that he is, sworn to telling the whole truth all the time. Durant, when he left, basically said, I think continuity is valuable. He was looking at the Timberwolves team that had basically brought their entire team back from last year, and he's like, that continuity is pretty important there. That said, in a player like Durant's case, that's not up to them. That's up to the team. It's up to the player. It's always up to the player. And so if Durant had a change of heart, which we've seen in the past, then that would potentially be on the table. But he didn't say that. He didn't sound like that, and it doesn't sound like that's what the team wants. And if your point is that you don't think they're going to be able to materially change their roster without doing something like that, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't think it's something that as we sit here in the first week of May, not saying that's something that we should expect.
Brian Windhorst here on the Rich Eisen Show. Interpret Joel Embiid's post-game comments after being eliminated, talking about how we have these players here for 1 year and gone. What did he? I assume he was referring to Harden, if not Jimmy Butler before that, but I'll give you the floor on interpreting those comments, Brian.
Well, the best thing about what Philly has going for them is that they have discovered their second star. And so when the Harden, I don't know if you want to call it an experiment because it was kind of a marriage, when that failed, it looked like the Sixers may be in trouble because how are they going to replace that player? Well, they have found a new star player, and that is what's most important when you consider what's going on with the with the 76ers. They also have $60 million in cap space, but they are not going to be under pressure to go out and get a player that is an MVP type candidate. they can potentially break that up into several different things. They don't have to sign players with it either. They can use it in trades. There's other ways to use cap space than in signing players. And they got some assets in that Harden trade. They got a couple extra draft picks that they can use in deals. So I think what Embiid's looking at is let's start to construct a core, and let's do that with this offseason. And the Sixers are equipped to do that. And I would, if I was a player who was interested in moving teams, whether it's by free agency or by trade, you're looking at what Maxey is doing and you know what Joel can do. And you're saying, hey, I can go and be that sort of supporting star that could really fit there. So there's a couple of teams that are in that spot. They're going to have competition, but they have the tools to improve their roster. And so I promise you, Daryl Morey is working every single day on that between now and July to get that done.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.